What's up, vinyl community? It's Jason coming to you from the Jazz Basement. This is the basement of my house and the name of my new YouTube channel. This is the first YouTube video that I've done, and what better way to break in the channel than with the Jazz Vinyl Tag 2021, started by Chris, Tunes from the Man Cave, someone that I've followed on YouTube for a long time, follow on Instagram. We've actually become pretty good friends over the past couple of months, and he's really inspired me to launch my own YouTube channel. With that, let's jump in. Before we do that, I should say, really enjoying a lot of the other videos that we've seen. My jazz collection is fairly small. It's about 200 records, fraction of many of the others that have done these videos, but more than most. Been collecting for about 2 years now, really heavily into jazz over the past year and a half. Really enjoy it, and really enjoying the journey. So with that, let's jump in. The first question was the album that got you into jazz. And I was really fortunate. My roommate in college was really into jazz. He was a jazz pianist, actually, just as on the side. And we spun a lot of jazz CDs, a lot of Bud Powell, lot of Dexter Gordon, things like that. Just really opened my mind, opened my eyes to jazz and what it could be. And one of the albums that I remember the most from that experience was Dexter Gordon Go. So this was on heavy rotation in our dorm room. Just a great album. Really enjoy it. Great lineup on this as well. So you have Dexter Gordon on the tenor, you have Sonny Clark on the keys, Butch Warren on bass, and Billy Higgins on the drums. This is an Analog Productions issue. Would love to get my hands on an original or an early press. Doesn't come cheap, so this will do for now. But this is one that really opened my eyes to what jazz could be, and really started the journey. Second question, the first jazz album you bought. I think this is the case. I'm not 100% sure. When I first started collecting records and or started listening to vinyl a few years ago, kind of dove into classic rock, but I wanted to have at least a couple of records in a few different genres, just so if people came over and were interested in something, I could have something to throw on. So again, just going back 20 years to the dorm room, I remember this was on heavy rotation, and it was maybe not the first, but one of the first 2 or 3 records that I bought. And it's actually this record itself. It is the Bill Evans Trio at the Village Vanguard. Absolute classic. Great. This is an OJC copy. Love it. Throw it on all the time. Scott LaFaro on bass. It's just incredible. This with Waltz for Debbie, also, really high on the list, but had to go with this one. Early purchase for me in the jazz genre. Really enjoy it. Next, a record you own on Blue Note. As I mentioned, I have about 200 records. I would say 2/3 of those are Blue Note. And that's not intentional. It's just the way that it's worked out. But the one that I want to highlight here is A Night at Birdland. This is Art Blakey and Clifford Brown, among others. This record is one that I probably play the most. It's constantly on the platter. Absolutely love it. I had a Liberty press and then acquired this a couple of months ago from a seller in Germany. This is a excellent, super clean, first pressed 767 Lexington Avenue labels, all around. Just love it. Clifford Brown just crushes it on this record. really not much to say other than this is probably one of my go-tos in terms of going over to the stack and putting something on. Next up, a record you own on Prestige. So again, no surprise here to many of you. Miles Davis Quintet cooking. Miles Davis, not much needs to be said here. Certainly not his Quintet with Coltrane and the others. This is a great album. This is a recent score for me. I had an OJC. This is a second press on the Bergenfield, New Jersey Fireworks label. Absolutely love this. Really love all the Quintet stuff, the four records, but this is the one that I spin the most. Just great from start to finish. Not much else to add other than what's been said already. Just a great album. Next, a record you own on Impulse. I don't have a ton of Impulse. Most of what I have is John Coltrane, Alice Coltrane, a couple Pharoah Sanders. So I knew this record was going to make it on the list somewhere. Could have fit in a lot of different areas. Decided that this was the right slot for it, and it's A Love Supreme. No surprises, John Coltrane. This is a stereo press. Again, a record that needs no introduction. Picked this up locally at a shop, HR Records here in Washington, D.C. Love the shop, love the owners. Just these guys have so much heat out on the shelves, and they're super helpful. I was really lucky to nab this one. Right place, right time. They had put it out, 20 minutes before I had gotten there. And had just posted it to, I think, into Instagram when I picked it up. So great record. No surprises here. Absolutely love it. Record you own on Riverside. Again, not a huge collection of Riverside for me in terms of on the Riverside label. Decent bit of Felonious Monk, and been digging Monk a lot. Been listening to a lot of Monk. Really building out my Monk collection in particular. And this one I'm super proud to have. Again, had an OJC, recently upgraded to this. This is a second or third press on the blue reel-to-reel label. Thelonious Monk, Brilliant Corners. Just a great album. This was a contender for Desert Island Jazz album for me. Went a different direction, but Monk is involved. We'll just say that. So great record, top 5, top 10 must own in my opinion. You could pick a lot of them, but this is definitely up there for me. Next, record you own on Contemporary. Super proud to have this one in the collection as well. This is an original mono of Sonny Rollins, Way Out West, on the Contemporary label, the yellow label with the deep groove. Just really love the vibe of this. I love Sonny Rollins. I love the horns in general, but in particular Sonny Rollins. This is not the last time Sonny Rollins will be on this list. And just really iconic artwork. There he is in the desert of Arizona, dressed up like a cowboy. Great artwork, super iconic. Love the sound, great sound quality on this. Really excited to have this in the collection as well. Next, record you own on a subsidiary small jazz label. I don't have a lot currently. I have a couple that are in the mail from New Jazz, but this is another one I picked up on the recommendation of HR Records. And this is Doug Karn, Spirit of the New Land on Black Jazz. 1972, I think it came out. I believe that's his wife. She does vocals on this. Really spiritual jazz stuff. And what I love about this album is they did a great cover of Search for the New Land by Lee Morgan. One of my favorite jazz tracks, bar none. And they did a cover of that with Gene Karn, sort of spoken word type overlay in terms of vocals. Really good, really spiritual, really soulful stuff. and a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but really, really have enjoyed it. Great pickup. Next, a record I own that not many people know about but should. Um, I really struggled with this one because a lot of what I've collected in terms of the way I've approached collecting jazz has been to go with a lot of the blue chip classics, right? And the list so far kind of reflects that. But this is a band that I've followed for quite some time. It's the Bad Plus. They've been around for about 20 years. Got into them right around college, end of college, and got a chance to see them a couple of years ago here in Washington, D.C., small, intimate little place. Maybe 100 people were there, and they were just dropping this album. This is Activate Infinity. Picked this up at the show. It was a kind of jazz supper club. City Winery is the name of the venue. Great place, and people had dinner and bounced after the show, and I was with my brother-in-law, and we hung out. At the bar, got some drinks, and the band showed up. The trio showed up, and they're really cool. We got a chance to meet with them. They autographed the record, which is super cool, and just talked about jazz and their travels and their path. What got me onto them was a record that they did, I don't know, 20 years ago, but they covered Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit in a jazz trio way. Really cool. Again, more modern jazz, sort of in the vein of Go-Go Penguin, or not quite as crazy as, say, a Medeski, Martin and Wood. But this is one that, if you don't have it in your collection, look them up. The Bad Plus, absolutely worth a stream at a minimum, and hopefully can turn some folks onto them. Really great stuff. Favorite jazz record bought in 2020. I bought a lot of jazz in 2020, over 100 records, and this was a record that I had bought online through Music Matters. They released a bunch of classics on this really special vinyl called SRX, and this is one of my favorites. It's Soul Station, Hank Mobley. Just this was also a contender for an album that got me into jazz. I mean, I put this on the platter and played it, and it was just, the sound quality was amazing. The content, the playing, the tone of the saxophone, all of that just totally drew me in. Another contender for Desert Island Disc, absolutely. This pressing's immaculate, sounds great, great presentation as well. Can't say enough about these. I was fortunate to get most of the SRXs. I did not get Search for the Newland, and was kicking myself for that. And went on the search for Newland, which is my favorite record in an artist's discography. So Lee Morgan, Search for the Newland, just great stuff. Love the title track. That may be my all-time favorite jazz track, Search for the Newland. Just love the bass line. Love Grant Green's playing on that. Everything about it is just amazing, I think. This is a 1966 stereo press. I did have a 1985 direct metal mastering. That was all I could get my hands on for a while there in the pandemic, and then acquired this a couple of weeks ago and passed the other one on to a friend. So great, just a great album. Next, favorite record bought in a brick and mortar shop. There's a lot of them. This one I was really surprised to see. I didn't know much about it at the time. It was posted on Instagram by a local shop with a pretty sizable price tag on it. So did some research, and they totally underpriced it. But it's Mobley's Second Message. This is a pretty rare record. A lot of Mobley stuff is rare in general, but in particular, this is very rare. This goes for, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars on eBay. And I picked it up. It looks like it's been played once. I mean, it's super clean. Everything about it. The vinyl's super clean. The jacket's super clean. Really, really excited. It's a great session. Would love to find Mobley's message in the same way, you know, on the cheap original. Not sure that's going to happen. Really happy with this one. Next, a record you bought online. Another recent acquisition. This is Nuke's Time, Sonny Rollins. This is an original mono, 1958, I believe. I bought this online through the Jazz Record Center in New York City. Just an iconic shop. I have not been there in person. Just given lockdown, I do get to New York for business from time to time. I love Sonny Rollins. Love the opportunity to acquire this. Not a cheap record, as you can imagine. It's in immaculate condition. Pretty hard to find, but really happy to come away with this one. Love it. Next, record a friend found for you or gifted to you. I don't really have that many, but I do have a very special record that actually Chris Tunes from the Man Cave sent to me. And he has an original mono of it, a first press mono. This is the second press mono of Sonny Rollins Volume 1. There we go. So this is the 47 West 63rd without the registered trademark. It's a mono, super clean, doesn't have a cover, no problem. Music is what matters. So I'm on the hunt for a cover. Super generous of Chris. He knows how much I love Sonny Rollins, and we've done a lot of business together, and could not believe that he put this in a package for me. I don't know what to say other than thank you. You know, on the lookout for a cover. So if any of you have a lead on a cover for this, drop me a line. Next, jazz box set. I don't have any. Not a big box set guy. I do have a couple of box sets. They are Grateful Dead and Fish, but nothing in jazz. Similarly, jazz 10-inch or 7-inch. I don't have any 10-inch or 7-inch anything record related. So never say never, but at this point in time, don't have any in my collection. Most recent jazz score. This one just came yesterday in the mail. Really excited for this one. Thelonious Monk's Moods on Prestige. This is a record, I believe originally it was the Thelonious Monk Trio. It was released on kind of a sky blue and white label or cover, and then the second, or I think this is the third press, mono, they switched over to this style jacket. But this is unbelievable. This is like the greatest hits of Monk's, you know, in terms of the standards. Blue Monk, I'm a Gigolo, so on and so forth. Just a great album. I've been spinning this nonstop today. Love it. Again, you know, if you can't get early press, OJC has this. If you don't have it, definitely worth looking up. Jazz record you hope to find in 2021. You know, again, when I look at my collection, I'm really proud of it. It's a great collection. You know, I have a lot of the bases covered. You know, I've watched a lot of these other videos. I've learned a lot. There's a lot of jazz out there that I'm just scratching the surface. But when I look at the collection that I've amassed so far, the one artist that I'm missing is Kenny Dorham. I don't have any Kenny Dorham as a leader. Now he's obviously a sideman on some of the records that I've shown already, but I don't have any Kenny Dorham. So I'm going to rectify that in 2021. I know for sure Record Store Day I believe Craft Recordings is dropping Quiet Kenny, which is a tough get in terms of getting an original press. So they're going to drop that. That's number one on my list to try and get. But certainly something like Una Mas is up there as well. Whistle Stop would be another one. Just don't have a lot. Don't have any. Got to change that. 2021, the year Kenny Dorham. We'll see. Jazz record that I own that I'd like to upgrade in 2021. Now, this is a tricky one. It's Soul Train. And I just got this week. Soul Train, it's the OJC. Happened to find it at brick and mortar. Picked it up because I just wanted it in the collection. I did have a copy of this about a month ago. It was a second press, mono, super clean. Jacket was clean. Everything checked out. Put it on the platter. Got halfway through the second track and it skipped. I've never had a record skip before and my heart sank. Fortunately, brought it back to the shop. No problem. Couldn't figure out what the issue was. Looked at the wax, looked super clean. Couldn't see a scratch, nothing. But it just got stuck, unfortunately. So really sad about that. Picked up the OJC. Would love to get an early press of this. All right, 2 to go. Free jazz record. Again, I don't have a lot of this. What I do have are Ornette Coleman. I have 3. I have Shape of Jazz to Come, and then I have Ornette Coleman Trio at the Golden Circle in Stockholm, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Got them in a package deal. Got both of them. It's a stereo press, 1966. This has the ear, so I'll show this one. Free jazz, still getting used to it. Still trying to figure it out. But I do like Ornette Coleman, excuse me. So excited to kind of work my way through free jazz and get into it. More of a hard bop guy, as you can tell, just given the list so far. But this is my free jazz pick. And then lastly, Desert Island Jazz Album. A lot of contenders for this. I put a lot of thought into it. And this is actually one that I have not seen on any list yet. Combines 2 of the greatest jazz musicians out there. It's Art Blakey's Jazz Messengers with Thelonious Monk. This is a phenomenal album. I play this weekly. Absolutely love it. I love the Jazz Messengers. I love Art Blakey. I have 15 Jazz Messenger albums, all iterations. Love them all. It's not a bad record. And then you throw that in with Thelonious Monk, who I've gotten into pretty considerably over the past 2 months or so. Great album. This is a first press on Atlantic. Got the nice black label mono. Super clean. Got this on eBay for a very good price. Really happy about it. The other one that I was thinking about was also Thelonious Monk with John Coltrane. That was probably my number 2. That was the 2005 release at Carnegie Hall. It's on Blue Note. The version that I have was done by Mosaic. Another one, you drop the needle, listen to it, end to end, just great. So thanks for sticking through this, listening through. Again, this is going to be a little bit more of blue chip classic list. That's just where I'm at with my collection, what I really enjoy. Really proud of my collection, and really happy to see a lot of the other videos. Learned a lot, and that's really what it's all about. Just scratching the surface in jazz. It's been a great journey. Thanks for listening, and hope you'll join me. Subscribe to my channel. Looking forward to putting out a lot of great content in terms of my jazz journey, and hopefully people will learn along the way with me. So until next time, have a good one.